Hi, this is Evan Busen from Lake Ozark, Missouri. Thanks for watching Game Notes on Crown Refs Podcast. Serve the game. Good to be a part of everything you're doing and just give a little bit, giving me some tips and help and everything like that. So it's great.
So I tried to conduct this virtual meeting inside of your alma mater, Quincy University. But real quick, for the loyal listeners of passionate and hungry basketball officials, just give us a quick little background story on you, where you're from, how long you've been officiating, and how you connected with Crown Refs.
Sure. So I'm originally from the Quincy, Illinois area, and I had a little stint with QU or Quincy University back in the mid 2000s. I grew up about 30 miles east of Quincy, and I ended up going to Chicago, playing some baseball up there. Played baseball there at QU. Went to Chicago, played there for 2 years. It was a North American League, 𝘎𝘂𝘃𝘂𝘴 Flyers. So played there for a couple of years as a pitcher, and I ended up getting drafted by the Houston Astros. And I had a little stint with the Fresno Grizzlies out in California.
What's that, single, double A?
Double A. So I was a pitcher, relief pitcher, and ended up throwing out my elbow, and still can't straighten out my arm right now. I still have issues with it. So, but moved back home, and my dad was like, "Well, you're not staying here, back home." So I really enjoy boating and golfing and lake sports or water sports. So I moved to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Netflix
great show, yeah.
Ozark, yeah. So some of it's true, a lot of it's not. So just take that in pieces. But been officiating. I've been certified in the state of Missouri. For 10 years. I'm being mission certified through the state. After high school basketball games, I would go to the local YMCA and just, on a Saturday morning do, fourth grade basketball. And so I really started there. I didn't think anything of it, as a hobby, I thought, and just a little extra cash as a high schooler. That's what I was doing it for. There was no passion, at least not yet. Like I said, I've been certified for 10 years, and really getting passionate about it probably within the last 3 to 4 years. So it's just one of those things where, one of my friends, hooked me up in it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I just did it for cash. And then I just started to do more, and then advance and just got that bug and got that passion for continuing to ref. So I came along Crown Refs. I really honestly don't know how I came across it. It was one of those things where I was so super passionate about it, and I was like, there's got to be some sort of content. There's got to be, a podcast. There's got to be instructional videos, mechanic videos, something. There's got to be something out there that I can, help me grow and get better being an official out there on the internet. So I just came across, I think it was just, typed in YouTube and looked you and Mr. Pink back in the day, man. Mm-hmm. You guys were at it. So, and that was honestly the kicker and the start for me. And then obviously your podcast and everything that you've done from, episode 1 to all the way now is, I'm right there with you, and, growing and loving every bit of it along the way. So
well, I appreciate you being a day one, chapter 1, a loyal supporter. So thanks for, being there from the beginning, and then pretty much 2 years later to be able to sit with you now and build with you and try to help you grow. You obviously had a chance to read over the report. You watched your game with the report as kind of an overlay. Tell me about that experience. How was it watching your game again with the report?
Well, a little cringing, like a little like, oh man, like
Yes, good.
yeah, like just like a little like, oh man, like that just looks awful. I was like, well, uh, I honestly didn't think I was gonna send you, that game, in particular. I was just like, yeah, it looks decent. Whenever I watched the game, I was like, yeah, it looked good enough. And I was like, yeah, I'll just send it to Crown Refs and see what he thinks. And then you came back and that's what you do is just I just needed that really that I don't want to, it's not criticism, but just just that structure, that teaching guide. So but yeah, definitely cringeworthy, if you will. And going back, since you sent that report, I've had 3 games.
Good. Tell me about that.
It unbelievable. Like I can already tell. Like I had a game last night. I got a game tonight, and just the simple mechanics of at the table is I think at the table is probably my biggest concern. Like I know a foul is a foul is a foul. Like I know like that. I think it's just like the reporting and that muscle memory is not there for me yet. So I think I'm trying to break a lot of old habits and trying to get into some newer ones and move a little bit different. Either if that's flexing, if that's running, whatever. So I'm just trying to get into new habits, which obviously we all know that's difficult to break.
Sure. Well, that's exciting for me to hear the fact that you have been able to ref since, being able to download and absorb the report and all the information in the report. So I'm really happy that, you felt the growth on the court. I think you're going to continue to feel it, especially after this session and as we go a little bit deeper into your game notes. So basically, I'll just give you the floor to start. Is there anything that stood out? Any questions that you want to tackle from the beginning before we look at some specific plays?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure things will kind of just go up whenever we kind of go through some stuff. But I think honestly, one of the biggest things that really stick out in my mind is, which I've already touched, is just the reporting. It's almost like I don't know what it is, but it's just I'm almost like in slow motion a little bit, and everything's not like super crisp, and so that's like this thing that I touched on. I mean that's honestly sticking out in my mind the most.
So let's just start there, because I want you to add a little bit more, smoothness to the way you present your numbers. And I'm talking about from when your hands are by your waist to when you raise them and present them to the table. That whole process from beginning to end, I just want you to, focus on making that transition a little bit smoother. So show me how you report your numbers.
So I've done it 2 ways. So like I at times I'll go, here and then,
Sure.
here or whatever. So
One
here,
hand at a time.
here.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes I do one hand at a time. So here. Sometimes I'm just like, go.
What you just presented just now looked stronger than anything you did in the game.
Yeah. Well, I think it just like you said, like I kind of like just bring my arms up really slow and then here.
Right.
Instead of just being like,
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It does, it looks, the way you just did it, how you just raised it, it's just not as athletic as the way you just presented it.
And I've noticed that a lot. It's just like, just, it's like really slow, so.
Too robotic, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So instead of, and I like the little key that you put is, you're, almost do like a,
A turn, yeah.
Like shooting out.
Sure.
I don't do like a full turn, but just one, quick little.
Yeah, you just got to find out what works for you, what feels smooth for you.
Right. Yeah, because I don't want to go up to the table and get clouded of like, all right, this is what I need to do. Instead of like, let's just report the number. Let's do it almost like a little naturally. And because I don't want to get up there and be like, oh crap, what was the number? Or like, oh crap, what was the hit, or what was the put? So I don't want to get clouded and have all these things. It's almost like a golf swing. Like, you go, you're like, all right, I got to do this, and this, and then, so yeah, like you said, like you just, whatever works best for me and comfortable for me at the same time, working on those new habits.
Mm-hmm. All right. Also your 3-point attempt, it was a little straight up, kind of over your head, where I want it to be a little bit more out on the side.
Worked on that huge last night, and I probably honestly can send you a couple clips of it too, just to show you the difference.
That looks better.
And like I was kind of going like up above, and I was doing the.
And you had your hand facing forward.
Yeah, so I was going like this instead of on the side. So last night I had a girls' game and shot a ton of threes, and I kind of came out like on the side, and I used the palm. Yeah, so I went up, kind of like almost up and out.
Yeah,
like a little bit, not necessarily like straight up, but like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did that quite a bit last night. Worked on that a lot. The day before had a game as well, or I'm sorry, on Saturday I had a game. And I still did the 3. I don't know what I like better. I really don't know. I know there's a lot of signers. For me, there's a lot of signers that want here at the college level, want here. I see all the, D1 guys, and I honestly feel better with the palm going up, or all the fingers going up. I think it just looks, everything is like tucked in and cleaner, and, a little bit more sharper. So
you just got to pick your preference, but just the way you snapped it out is looking better. One thing I want to discard that you do is your slap hit, your open hand hit, right? So I want you to just close your fist and do it more by the book. So it's the hammer fist. Now I seldomly do use that open hand hit, but it's not necessarily in the way you did. Maybe on that 3-point shot where the defender flicks the elbow, I like to mimic that motion at the table sometimes, or just like a hit to the elbow. Again, these are kind of unimproved ways of presenting the hit, but if you want to mix it up and add that open hand, maybe you've had like 3 or 4 previous hits, you want to just add a little bit of variety, do the open hand. But I think for the open hand to be your go-to hit, I think it just looks a little bit soft, the open hand.
Okay. I did report that once last night, and as soon as I did it, I was like, man, Paul's gonna be so. No, but she really did though. Like she was one of those that just came down. Everybody heard it. Coach is standing right in front of the coach, and she, everybody knows she did it. So I reported it as a slap. Right. That habit is breaking, because since the video, Pop, done the closed fist, so but yeah, so yeah, like you said, kind of break it out whenever it needs, whenever time warrants.
A few refs I know make it look a little martial artsy. It looks a little karate-ish, like you're up there. Hi-ya! All right, good stuff. All right, so let's pull up some of your game notes. Give me a moment here.
Cool. These teams were pretty good too. I mean, they were.
These teams, yeah. Now, what level game is this?
It was NAIA.
Division
1.
Oh, wow.
And so NAIA Division 1, the kind of the dark. I think they're blue, maybe black. I don't know. They were I think they were ranked like second or third. They're from Arizona Christian University, and then Talladega from Alabama. They were ranked 17. So I mean, it was good. It was a good game.
Definitely a good game to work. All right, so first note, 1807, first whistle of the game. Obviously, we want our first whistle of the game to be correct. We want it to, set the tone. Want to make sure it's a good one, right? So what I wrote here, even though the defender places two hands on the ball handler, right? Two hands normally means it's a foul, freedom of movement foul. I think we just have to have a little bit of big picture awareness on refereeing this play, because we want to hold the whistle that extra second as the offensive player blows by the defender, because then once we stop the game, now we're kind of taking away the advantage. Now, if this contact were to happen up by half court where the defender is facing him, puts two hands on him, that's different than this particular play. That's why I say big picture awareness. Also, look, there's no like secondary defender really stepping up, so he's got a pretty clear lane. Okay, two hands there. I get it. But if we let that play breathe an extra second, I mean, he just got to the rim. Who knows if he would have scored, but it looks like he would have had a pretty good opportunity to get a bucket there. What did you think about that play?
I mean, completely agree. I mean, if I just let that play go, and obviously the defense created an advantage by stopping him because of it, then go ahead and grab it. But yeah, I mean, just like you said, blow by, boom. He's up and scoring. Let it score and go the other way.
He's a volume scorer.
Yeah, like that hand check was just super.
The presentation of the hand check?
Yeah, it was almost like I patted something. You know what I mean? Like I just went like I just patted at it. I can't really. I mean, just watch my right hand. All right, numbers. Okay, that's fine. And then I instead of going out and almost like up toward you, I went like out and down.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, it just looks super. Yeah.
So I like to make the hand check have the same characteristics of a push. With the push, we're pushing forward, we're snapping it. Same thing applies. I think the hand check is one of the softer fouls that we do present. I think a lot of officials don't kind of know how to present it. It just feels soft, but we don't have to make it soft. We can add more strength to it. So I want you to start your hand kind of by your shoulder and a full extend out, almost like you're throwing your hand out.
Yeah. Cool.
Let me see you do that.
Or.
Perfect. Looks
yeah,
great.
and I've what's helped me too on like just the push, like if they go hand in hand, the push. Once again, like here, my numbers were already out, so then I just take my hands and then go just another little extension. Last night, or like the couple nights, that I've been working, I've been here, 13. Then I bring my hands back and then step forward.
You go.
I take just one quick little step forward and then push out, and just everything. Yeah, just looks super cleaner.
Much better. Yeah, the recock of the hands into the new push is going to create a little bit more separation between your signals. We don't want them to blend into each other.
Right. Yeah, like numbers, blending, push. Yeah, instead of 13, recock, push.
So this play, I want you to take a different route when you close down on the shooter there. Instead of traveling north, stepping up, I want you to step down. I think you're going to have a better look. I think it's a quicker route, and you want to stay more sideline oriented. So did you see how the player crossed over there and started the drive? That's where you got to move with him.
I think it just
what's happening.
Honestly, I don't know if I got lazy or what I was looking at. I must have just got lazy. caught up in it and just stayed there.
So you're adjusting as A1 starts dribbling north, right?
Yeah.
But then as he crosses over, dribbles south, you know, you're just looking right at the ball here where I want you to sidestep with him here, sidestep with him. So as he pulls up, you're going to be in a great position to see that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
just
then
different route.
way too much out on the court.
Mm-hmm. So this was another theme. You know, just I want you to really focus in on that self-talk, those self-reminders. All right, I'm new C. Now I'm trail positioning. New lead. Just because, you know, there was a few times where you didn't have that crew awareness to know that your partners had rotated. Is there anything that's kind of creating friction for you, or it's just you're forgetting to rotate?
Not necessarily. To be 100%, I think it's one of those things where it. I don't know if it was just like the level of the game or just the excitement of the game. I was just trying to almost get everything right, and I tried to maybe even zoned in and got tunnel visioned on a couple things. Whenever you get tunnel visions, you know, just look at one play and just, you know, you just stare at one thing and then you don't look maybe peripheral. I don't know what I was looking at here. So I was.
Well, you just see right now, you're looking at ball here.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't need. Yeah. So once again, just got tunnel vision, ball watching. I didn't see my crew step down or flex over. So
He was a big addition.
I just kind of got tunnel visioned in it.
The ability when they go to the.
It's all right. It happens. I made that mistake many times this year, and I noticed the more I'm self-talking, staying engaged, you know, the less mistakes and less kind of, you know, brain dead plays that we have.
Yep.
That's how I feel when I forget rotation. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, 27:42. We got a triple whistle here. I mean, I can understand the double whistle.
That's a foul. Yep.
You almost had a what they call a mirror whistle, where your two partners or one partner blows the whistle, and that just triggers the other official to blow the whistle too. Any reason why you would have a whistle here?
It surprised me, and in the moment, I don't know, go back like 10 seconds. In the moment, I was pretty pissed at myself because I go up to the court or go up to get the ball, and I don't I kick it. I kicked that call, and you can literally visually see me visually kick the court. So if you just let it play, because I know I was like, you know, you dummy. So whistle, and then here's the kick. Stupid.
I liked it. That made it all better.
Yeah, so I kicked the call. So I knew what I was like, God, don't involve yourself in that.
Right.
So
another thing about that play, we want to indicate the off-ball official is going to indicate that there's 10 seconds or less on the shot clock. A few times you were refereeing an on-ball matchup and then turn your eyes to the shot clock.
Yeah.
So that's a one-man job for the person across the opposite ball.
And I worked on that big time. I've been doing a couple high school games. I did that big time in the 2 college games that I did have pre or post.
Okay.
So I was trying, really worked on that as well.
Tell me about this play. Tough for me to tell on my couch where the contact was, but just take me through this play, what you called, why you called it, if you liked it.
Yusuf Baker brings in some former track and field guys.
Oh, the handshake.
Stamina to keep up with the pace.
The video kind of had it on. You know, it was almost like straight lines.
I know. You can't see.
Yeah, like right there, he did actually. It looked like he was It looked like he had an arm bar, and as soon as he did the arm bar, he kind of went into him and
chucked him.
completely displaced him, and just he moved over because I felt like he was going up for a shot. He's left-handed, so I was like, strong side, you know, he's going to go up for a shot or a layup. He's trying to get his own here, and you know, so I had him coming right at me. I felt good about it. You know, Trail had the same thing. He saw that kind of that extension of the arm on the defender. So that's the reason why we came and grabbed it. About right there. Yeah.
And that threw him off his drive, you think?
Yeah. Well, what I thought was he was going up for a layup, and the foul caused him to pass to pass. So I thought he was going to go up for, you know, left-handed. Thought he was going to go up for one, and he got bumped, got displaced, and then that made him pass the ball.
I just like to play devil's advocate, and I trust when two officials usually when two officials blow the whistle, usually they're right?
Sure.
But my thing is here, if we don't have a whistle, I mean, we'll never know. But he dishes it off, finds an open man under the basket. They score 2 points. Does anybody even look back on this contact if that happens?
Right.
You know, that's why, again, I'm not saying it's not a foul, but just kind of give plays an opportunity to breathe and finish. Now, if you think this play was finished, then I respect you because you were there. But this could help you on a future play moving forward.
Yeah, that pain tolerance we talk about.
And we're talking about a split second just to see what he does after that bump. Just see what the Chuck does. Okay, it threw him off a little bit. Immediately after that, he dishes it. We have an open layup. So again, if you sometimes we have more time than we actually think.
Sure.
Maybe that play we could have given it 0.1 extra. Again, if that bump causes him to travel or not be able to make that pass, then it becomes a little bit more obvious. So again, I'm not saying this is not a legal contact, but just keep that play calling guideline in mind moving forward.
Top to bottom.
And did you present a hand check here?
It was on the pass, so it should have been a hand check or push. It should have been a push.
Yeah.
Hand check. So it was like, or just, you know.
I just feel like hand checks don't happen near the basket.
Yeah.
You know, so if we have to call a foul in the paint or on the block, very rarely is it going to be a hand check. It's usually a bump. You know, he got chucked right there. So chuck AK is a push.
Yeah.
Or an arm bar, whatever you want to do.
That's the right call. That's the right call.
So what did you think of your whistle to start the half? I know I had a note on it. It felt a little bit like the first half where it was just kind of a quick whistle to start the game. Do you feel the need to come out early and kind of just get something, whether it's, you know, an illegal screen or a hand check? You know what I'm saying? When we pregame sometimes and say, hey, let's come out and make sure we're calling freedom of movement and all that kind of stuff. Do you think that contributes sometimes to you maybe having a quick whistle?
In the first half, like at the beginning of the game, yeah, I feel like, you know, whenever you pregame something, be like, hey, let's grab the first travel, let's grab the first, you know, displacement foul, let's grab the first, putter movement, whatever. Let's grab the first one. And I think whenever we grab the first one, a lot of that stuff kind of dwindles down or kind of just gets faded down, and you kind of look at the game as a whole. Then in the second half, I think this play honestly like it was almost like a surprise. It was like a like that was a push, and so it was like kind of quick, right. You know. So that's how I felt on that play. I think it was super soft. You know, there's no I mean, it was just like one of those. Was it a foul? Probably, yeah. You know, is it a survivability or is it a survivable play? Yeah. You know,
I mean, was it a foul?
24-42, and White's down. You know, from a game management standpoint, especially at the second half, do I have to come and grab that? No, but you know, they're getting their butts beat. So.
Right. Now, I understand why you called it, and maybe you had a little bit of heightened sense of awareness because it looked like a potential injury type play where like the defender's just clumsy, bumps into the back, looked like maybe the player's knee could have been involved. So I understand why you would call this, but again, I don't think this play finished because the offensive player at the end of the day is just unaffected by it. And actually that extra movement propelled him into his new pivot, right? It actually maybe gave him an advantage. Next thing you know, you stop the clock and he's swinging the ball, ripping through, looking like he's ready to score.
Sure.
So again, just taking an extra second to see how that contact finished.
Yeah. I mean,
and he bumped him. I get it. You bumped him. You know, you just got to see how the offense is affected. If he gets knocked down, obviously a foul. If he travels, obviously a foul. If he stumbles, then it's a foul. But he just wasn't affected. These are big boys.
Yep.
Push looked a little bit better there. Just finish it. Just extend it out a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's just look at your report one more time. See that rip through, boom, I'm ready to score, play on, nobody says anything. Push looks good there. Just the numbers do what you were doing in the beginning where we're snapping them out.
So, like, I had to be thinking, I kind of got to sell this a little bit or a little bit more instead of, you know, be like, well, that's obvious foul. I think that kind of gets in the back of my mind too, is like, well, if this is obvious foul, like, okay, obvious foul, obviously he, you know, hand checked him, or obviously he pushed him. So like, that's just one of the mindsets that I have to get out of, you know, every single foul that I need to sell. Like every single presentation at the table, I need to sell, or I need to be, you know, muscle memory the exact same way every single time. And just like that laissez-faire type, you know, reporting needs to go.
Yeah, finding that balance between, as you said, the laissez-faire and, you know, overselling. Selling is an interesting term. It kind of, many people have different interpretations of it. I interpret selling as over signaling to prove and convince everybody that you got the call correct, which is an insecurity in my opinion. When we're insecure about something, usually we're not 100% about it. That's why we're trying to over communicate. So I just like to replace selling with just strength and just being sharp. And once you train your muscle memory to just always present strength, then there's no selling. You don't have to dig deep and present something brand new that you've never done, again, to convince people. I'm not in the convincing business anymore. I like to do it with just my actions, you know?
Absolutely.
𝘕𝘃𝘃𝘬𝘂 has missed his last 3 trays behind this season.
Oh, that coach.
I don't know. I mean, bang, bang play.
Right there.
So I just love hearing about coach interactions. This obviously looked positive. Just take me through your conversation with the coach.
This is the second time he came up to me, or just like, hey, like super soft, very well spoken. He's like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. You guys are, man, like you guys are really doing a good job out there. And just that soft voice, which it's very surprising from a coach being soft spoken. He's like, you're doing a great job, but you know, hey, down here, can you watch number da 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 for, you know, hooking, whatever. I was like, yeah, we'll walk for it. And that was it. That was it. This one right here, this is Arizona's coach. He didn't say a word to all three of us. After the game, he didn't say a word. Well, he's up by 16 points. So that's probably why. But the other one, yeah, he didn't say much either. And just like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. Just watch this down there. That's it.
I want to get him on the podcast because that was a textbook approach by the coach, right? He came, he complimented you, soft, spoke nicely, spoke professionally. And then after the compliment, but could you just please just maybe watch the other guy? Yeah, soft.
Yeah, just down here.
Coach.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely, coach. Absolutely, coach.
You're like, yeah, coach. If I see a coach, we'll get it. And that was pretty much it. Like, the first one though, like the first one, triple whistle, Evening Christmas. The first, so that was the second interaction. The first interaction would be like, hey, like, you know, he's doing this. I was like, coach, what are you seeing? Like, are we missing something? Or like, hey, what are you seeing? He's like, well, this, and this, and be like, coach, if he does it, we'll get it, we'll grab it.
Have you feel like asking the coaches questions and kind of turning around the dialogue, has that helped your interactions with the coaches?
Absolutely. Like, instead of being that unsure that we were talking about, just play offense, right? Be like, well, either I didn't see it that way, or, and I don't like to say that, like, I always turn it around on the coach and be like, coach, what did you see? What did you see? Right. And that's the very first thing that I will always say. And the other night too, high school game, there's a coach that said, he's like, man, like, you're doing a heck of a job. You need 2 other good partners, or like, you need to step it up for everybody else. I was like, coach, these guys are absolutely fantastic at what they're doing, and that's pretty much all I said. And then moving forward, he said, what did he say? He's like, oh, can you explain that call to me? I was like, coach, I'm not going to explain his call. I don't want him to explain mine. He's like, okay. I was like, he'll be right over in a second. I mean, and it worked flawless. I mean, it was literally just rolled off the tongue, natural, flawless. He's like, okay, all right, cool. And he came over, he had a foul, he came over, talked to him, and never had a problem since. I think we did tee him up, but anyway.
My guy, Evan, is listening to the podcast and applying it directly on the court for success. So,
yes,
really
sir.
Happy to hear that. And I like that you, you didn't let the coach give you a compliment and then crap on your partners. And a lot of referees won't address that because the coach complimented them.
Yeah, sure.
And they don't want to now upset the coach who just complimented them. Yeah. I don't need the compliment. So I don't need any kind of admiration from a coach that I'm doing a great job. Oh, but your partners suck.
Well, right after that too, he said, he's like, well, I'm just stroking your ego a little bit. I was like, you don't need to. Like, we're just here. We're here as a crew. We're here as a team. We're leaving as a team, and we'll ride or die. So
ride for the brand.
That's right.
Where we at? 133. I want to look at this play here.
Out of the timeout, 52-30.
Yeah, I think a hit to the head foul here. I was just curious the exact foul type that you had. What was the contact here?
And Bryce Davis on the ground.
Yeah, it should have been a hit to the head.
Okay, did he come down and kind of swipe on his ear there?
Well, yeah, I think he hit his completely hit his head, and I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that call was. The mechanic.
Yeah, because when we have hits to the head, there's no debate. There's nothing else to think about. Hits him in the head. Just let everybody know.
Yeah.
No one will ever say anything on a hit to the head. So my point is, you presented a push here.
I don't even know that wasn't even a push. That was I don't know what, that was I'll just do this because I don't know what I'm calling. I mean, that's honestly what it was. Did he push him head? I don't know. I mean, this.
And that was one of your softer pushes. We've already correct that. Your previous push was a little bit better than that, but
yeah.
I think that contributes to maybe you just being a little bit confused on. So again, just slow down, slow everything down here. Stay at the spot an extra second, download the information, as much information about the play, numbers, who fouled who, where the foul was, foul type.
All right. Typically I'm pretty, I have self-awareness that I'm pretty good with that, of you know, slowing things down, you know, processing the play. You know, I might have a quick whistle, you know, as well. But once again, like, I feel like I have pretty good self-awareness of really slowing things down.
Okay.
But so I just needed to take that to the, you know, to report, because at the table, you know, camps, even these games like this when nobody's really watching, you know, I speed myself up. You know, I speed myself up at the table, and it's just like, you know, so that's, I honestly probably did the number. I'm like, yeah, he kind of pushed him and hit his head and did a whole bunch of other things. So I was just, you know, so slow down. Right.
All right, let's look at 135. There was an inbounds lob. I want to know if you think we might have missed a foul here.
100%.
Okay. These are tough coverage plays, especially for the lead. That kind of quick lob or a quick rebound play, or a play that's opposite block. Lead doesn't have great coverage, so always helpful if the outside officials, whether trail or center, can help out on this play.
And I had three guys in front of me, and I had maybe two, because I had the inbounder, you know, the defender, and then the guy that was guarding the lob, B2 or whatever. So there's three, like, I was pretty much straight lined right there, and I was kind of waiting on my crew to come get that.
Yeah, I understand. You were a little stacked. You had players in front of you. If you were in the center position, you know, on a future play just like this, just be ready to ref that play, because that would probably be in your primary.
Absolutely. You know, in his decision-making process, I don't know what he saw, or saw anything different, or, you know,
No worries.
Whatever. You know, there's 12 minutes left. It's a 22-point ball game. You know, maybe it was just something that he thought he could survive.
You have a couple good block charge plays coming up. Definitely good plays to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have a block charge in transition here. Pump fake, defender, secondary defender comes, steps up, block. The broadcaster loved it. What'd you think?
He was the coach. I felt very, very confident about it. In real time, you know, there, 2 or 3 feet right in front of me. I felt like I was in a really good position to pick up not only the ball carrier, but secondary defender. So here it is again. So there's primary.
When are you picking up the secondary defender?
What's that?
I said, when did your eyes go to the secondary defender? Right now you're on ball, which is understandable. Still not looking at the secondary defender, right?
I'm there.
I want you to be there a little sooner.
Yeah.
Just turn your head a little sooner. Invite him into your, periphery.
Yeah.
Block. Williams. Yep, that's a good call.
Definitely close.
It was close, and even like whenever I go report and turn around about right here, right there, he's like, yeah, I was moving.
Like, said I was moving?
He's like, yeah, I was moving.
What's wrong with moving?
Nothing. Well, as a secondary defender, can't move.
What kind of what you can't move at all?
You can, just vertically, you can go straight up, but you got to be set. You can't go into the defender.
Okay.
Primary, you can be moving laterally, obliquely, behind.
Well, the secondary defender can move backwards as well. He can jump straight up and move backwards. That's why I just don't like using the language "can't move."
Sure.
That's what players and coaches always say. He was moving.
Yeah, he can't move. Yeah.
Right. No, you can move.
Or he was moving backwards.
So did you have the defender moving laterally upon the airborne shooter being in the air?
So I had him adjusting his feet, his left foot. He was adjusting his feet. His feet were going, kind of dancing a little bit, and he was trying to slide toward the baseline still. It's not a very good look from this angle, but I mean, he was 100% moving towards the baseline with his left foot, and his left foot was dancing.
All right, but I want to get out. I mean, dancing. That doesn't mean.
Well, not dancing. I mean, he was. I mean, he wasn't a legal defender.
I just want to identify exactly the movement you're talking about, because you're saying he's sliding to his left. Nothing wrong with that. You're saying he's moving towards the baseline. Again, nothing wrong with that. So where was the key here is identifying if A1 is in the air or he's still on the ground. If he's still on the ground dribbling, B1 can still go laterally if he's established legal guarding position.
So So can we go back to that play?
Sure.
So here's another thing. When is there no primary defender? When does the secondary defender become secondary, or does he go from? Is there ever a time that he goes from primary defender and he sloughs off, and then another primary defender guards him? I mean, would you consider this a secondary defender?
Initially, a secondary defender can become a primary defender once he establishes initial legal guarding position. Once he does that, then he is the primary defender. And, don't quote me here, but I think we can have two primary defenders. If B1 and B2 are standing right next to each other and they're facing the opponent with 2 feet on the ground, they're both in a legal guarding position. Technically, they're both primary.
Yeah. It's basically like who's going to pick him up from there.
So, primary defender,
Boom.
B1, right? Mm-hmm. Secondary defender is over here. He's secondary. He's illegal right now. So, yes, he's a secondary defender. Okay? Boom. Now, you have to determine, he's still secondary, but you have to determine, is he legal now? It looks like he's established a legal guarding position now because he has 2 feet on the floor. Right here, he's legal, right?
Right.
I mean, would you agree, just this still frame, he's in a legal guarding position?
So I just consider, at that time, I considered this guy is still a secondary defender. 20 guy here out on the wing that he's already beat. I had him still as primary defender.
Well, he's not primary. I mean, I understand. Once he gets beat, I don't look at him as primary anymore.
Okay.
Just because I don't think he's not relevant in the play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once B2 has now established, now he's the new primary.
Okay.
So let's see where he goes wrong.
Block.
I mean, I understand that little slide with that little lateral slide there. Maybe offensive player had already jumped when he was sliding. Again, we might not have the final answer here. I'm trying to help you in future plays, not necessarily this one as much,
Absolutely.
Because I want to get down, and you telling me dancing, I don't want to hear dancing anymore. That's not a relevant term, right? No. Moving, not really a relevant term here.
Set, nothing. All right.
Block.
And another thing from a game management standpoint, I guarantee, I'm sure that was in the back of my mind, be like, all right, these guys are down by 22. Sure. Game management wise,
yes.
If I bang a charge out right here, but I really do believe, I was 100%, confident about the call. I think I really am. I still am very comfortable with that call.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to find many different layers of discussion.
Absolutely. And, from primary to secondary, I think there's a huge discrepancy in a gray area of what every single official thinks what a primary defender is versus a secondary defender. I think a lot of people have like a lot of different terms for it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No,
Like,
yeah, I understand. And
yeah.
we're trying to dive a little bit deeper into those terms. You know,
Sure.
I think primary, I think legal defender B1 guarding A1. And you think secondary defenders as initially illegal defenders, but they have the opportunity to become primary once they establish that legal guarding position.
Yep.
We had to go small.
Okay, we got an RA block here. I love these plays. I wanted a little bit more signaling here out of you because this is a layered play with signals where we have to present a few of them because we have a foul, we have a block, we have a restricted area defender, and an N1, right?
Yeah.
So that's bang, 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 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this just takes us slowing down, doing them one at a time. Foul, okay? Block, score it. Restricted area. And then did you point to the arc there?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we just need to add a block signal.
Yeah.
Did you feel like
right?
Did you feel like it's because that there is multiple signals that you might have left one out?
So here I slid up. Harold, I feel like I was in terrible position. I don't know why I slid up. And by the time I was positioning, adjusting, by the time I was positioned adjusting, I was sliding up for whatever reason. I don't know. So right.
Yeah, the lead is rotating over. Got to pick up that rotation.
Yeah. So if I go,
yeah.
Where am I at? Here we go.
Different play.
Wow, the ball hangs.
Sorry, I got to go back.
No, we're good.
Rebound. Once we had to go small, that's gonna be a block.
So I took about 2 or 3 steps to the left, and obviously he was driving the lane. If I just stayed put, right there.
Well, you're moving out of the stack here, so
yeah.
I don't mind you taking 1 step up.
Yeah, but not 3. You know what I mean? So 1, 2, 3. So I took 3 steps up. I had a good look at it there. And it honestly, by the time those 2 players, you know, in my primary, by the time they had adjusted up or swung up, I had a good view of it. I wish I really took a step down. If I took 1 step down and 1 step in toward the play, I felt like I would have done a little bit more. Not necessarily like, you know, didn't sell it. I'm not selling it like we talked about, but just a little bit more, you know, here, stop the clock, block, score it, restricted area.
What's this?
Quite honestly, by the time they got out of my PCA, by the time I wanted to slide down, by the time all that happens, the play was done, and it like surprised the heck out of me. It was like, whoa. You know, like I let the play completely go. I was like, oh man, that's a foul. Yeah. And that's, you know, and I was like, oh man, that's, you know, like that's my area. So there was like about 2 or 3 things already in my head by the time I called the foul. I was like, that's my area. Oh my God, that's a foul. Oh my God, that's RA. And quite honestly, Paul, is like that repetition for me is not there yet. Due to the fact of I don't work a ton of college games, and so that RA, the arc is not there for me yet. So by the time I was like, bang, wow, that's my area. Okay, I got it. Score it, whatever. And then I did point to it. I was like, I knew what I was getting at. But just that, once again, that muscle memory, it wasn't there for me yet. So
It's understandable. The arc is difficult for sure. It takes multiple eyes, multiple sets of eyes to be able to get those plays right. Just as that A1 is dribbling top of the key there, you know, you still want to maintain the legality of the offensive player, but that's when that shift needs to come. We need to turn and accept that new defender. This way, we don't have the crash and then the surprise.
Yeah.
You know, feeling surprised by a crash only means that we weren't watching the defender.
Yeah. And
offense, and then boom, collision. It's like, oh, must be a block.
Well, and I think that's what happened is by the time my PCA matchup, by the time they moved out, I looked directly at the ball. I looked directly at the ball carrier, and then as soon as he went up, I was like,
let's say ball handler.
Ball carrier, football. Ball carrier. The ball handler. By the time he went up, you know, it took me, you know, a lot to process that RA area. And then if you ever watch you watch the video again, like I had a whistle, but my fist never goes up it was super fast. And I typically don't have that. It's usually whistle, and it's almost like, you know, I almost like go, you know, with the elbow, pop it up. I mean, that thing went shooting straight up. So it surprised me.
Well, I know we talked about a lot of things that, you know, we want you to improve, but we did see a lot of positives from your game. You obviously have a really good look. You look like you know what you're doing. You're a former athlete, so that helps you on the court with your believability and court presence. Showed a lot of strengths throughout the game, so I definitely want to continue to help, you know, you reach your goals. What would you say your goal is right now within your at this stage of your career?
I mean, right now is just be content and be extremely happy where I'm at. I'm very blessed of just having basketball. I know that you're, you know, right now you guys, you know, where you're at don't have it. So I'm very blessed just to be out there and running. I mean, I got six nights this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So very, very blessed with that. You know, my, you know, future goal this year, I was Final Four last year. That got shut down. I was doing the upper class, and that got shut down due to COVID back in March. So this year I hoping to get, you know, selected back to go back. So that's my short-term goal. You know, long-term goal is to once again have, you know, obviously more college games, and just like everybody, you know, and progress and get to the highest level that we can. And for me, that's, you know, D1, you know, doing some smaller D1 schools, you know, working my way up. So
love it, man. Definitely want to help you get there. Is there anything else I can answer for you? Anything that we left out you want to touch on?
I don't believe so. I mean, we, you know, one of the biggest things that, you know, I contribute my success to and my progression and growth is not only the guys that helped me get there and gave me a chance at the high school level, going to, you know, the college camps. You know, if anybody is, you know, out there listening, definitely do the college camps. If you don't want to do a college, totally fine. They'll just, you know, you can go there and just be a better high school official if you want to. So my growth through that, and obviously through, you know, your platform, you know, social media and podcast, have helped me tremendously. You know, like we touched on with, you know, communication to coaches, not only coaches, but your dynamic as a crew, as a whole. You know, it's definitely something that I'm super passionate about and absolutely love, and just love giving back and serving the game.
Enough said, man.
There you go.
Keep us posted on you know, how your games are going this year, and best of luck to you, man. Take care.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Crown Refs podcast. Serve the game.